We've got Tekken Tag Jams. You're watching twitch.tv/Excelity6J. Okay, so first things first. This is the picture of my cat. Let me show you my cat real quick. This is my cat. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, that's my cat. So yeah, that's my cat. She helped. She's definitely helping me build the PC, and she's definitely in a couple of these videos. So please look forward to that. That's gonna be fine. All right, let me move the chat room over to there. What's the audio like? Let me check this before I start. Storytelling. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Hello. Fucking earphones. I need like a radio headset, not these pissant earphones. Alright. The music's not too loud, is it? Hopefully not. It didn't sound too loud. I'm perpetually always louder than everything, so should be fine, right? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, right. PC show and tell. Let's show you what we was dealing with here. However, I will need to jack that a little bit lower because I am talking in some of these videos. All right. So first, this is what we are now dealing with: an RTX 3060 Gaming X, RTX, and all that shit, with a new Corsair TX 550M 80 plus gold power supply. It's a beast. To power it, obviously. 8-pin, it's, what is it? It's an 8 and a 6 PCI, I believe. We'll get to that. This is the connections on my old PC. As it was, just so I remembered where stuff plugged in, okay? That was the main vibe. So I was like, right, let me take some pictures. You can see this glorious old shell. Remember this I.O. shield. You're going to see this again. This is my... So sorry about the shit picture, but my phone sucks. This is my 1050 Ti. This is the 3060. So this was why I had to get a new case and why we have a new RGB case. This was the 1050 Ti, like, coming out. That's the 3060 trying to go in. So you can, on newer pavilions, you can unclip the front panel, hit a size 15 Torx in the front, and release this racking. My model is older than that and doesn't have that. This shit is more solid than most of our houses. If there's a bomb scare, I am hiding in this computer case. There's a better picture. Less blurry. It's just oof, you know. So I ended up having to order a next day zoom case. It's the IT Zoom RGB. It's pretty snazzy. These are the specs. It's an ATX case. My previous thingy, what is it? Previous case was M-ATX. So this is slightly bigger, which is good. Very the good. All right, here's the strip down. Like some of these now, these photos go ahead of the shits. So let me find like the first video. We'll play that. Oh fuck! I don't know why the aspect ratio on my phone is so dog shit. I have to play these with the weird Films and TV application, and that just works. All right. So this currently is my PC. This is a HP Pavilion 550 27NA that is from about 2015, 2016. Hopefully you can hear that. It used to have absolutely bog standard parts in it, including, but not limited to, this Radeon 530, I believe it is. Yeah, you can hear that. Is there a... Can we see any markings. Aha, you can see a Radeon there. I think this is a Radeon Integrated Graphics 530, I believe was what I took out. And it also had, originally, this old, if we can focus, this old proprietary, is it a 220? Or 180, I think it's a 180.
Sorry, that's a bit, like, narrow, I don't know. It's because of my phone sucks.
80 plus, but it's trash. This was no good to anyone using these. Like, it's still, the new power supplies still use this 24 pin, but they're a lot neater than this. This was the very first proprietary design. Not very first design, but like the old school design, silver box, messy cables. Obviously now they're a little bit neater, which we'll get to. And what I've been running recently, which if you've been watching my streams or watched any of my speedruns or anything like that, then you would have already known and seen me speak of and using these products, which I've now stripped out of here, but I will show you. This was my 1050 Ti.
Trash. Nah, 1050 Ti was good.
1050 Ti, 4 gig, low profile.
This shit did work. This did some work, to be fair. You guys know, you've seen it.
Let's put it this way. So
This was what used to power the stream.
it's probably a little bit dusty because I'm just taking it out. I need to clean it. I've just kind of put it away.
This video is skipping frames, and I don't know why.
It's probably going to go back in this machine at a later date with this current motherboard that's in there, and it's going to be a streaming PC to stream my new shit with these old parts.
Oh shit, I feel like you're picking me up as well.
Originally I took out this Radeon 530, this power supply. I added the 1050 Ti last year, and I added this power supply to go with it, which is a Corsair CB450, 80 plus bronze, you can see there. And now if I take you over to my kitchen set, because I have one of those, we're now going to be, I'm like Linus, I'm like English Linus now.
My mic doesn't usually pick up my TV, but
Corsair TX550M.
My mic rarely picks up my TV, but because of my filters and stuff I have on, but I can see in OBS it's peaking from my own voice on the TV. So the only way that my mic picks up my fucking TV is when it's me coming out of it, lol. Yeah. In total, the 3060 was marked at, from the retailer I got, it was from Novatech, which is based in Portsmouth. They're a PC building company that I got my 1050 Ti from, and they often have stock during fucking pandemics and shortages and do a really good price even compared to Amazon, eBuyer, Scan, Newegg, places like that. Still a really competitive price, to be fair, with their next day delivery. So marked price was £409. I paid then the £6 next day delivery, so $416. The 550, the TX 550 is $59.99, and the case, which you'll see in a minute, was $38.50. No, $38.11, and I shit you not, today it's $39.50 onwards. It's like more expensive after I bought one.
Which is a
But to fund this, I've been sort of doing some extra like bonus work and shit, like for the flower lady and stuff. So like just a bit of care work, helping out, helping people that need it. So I've been able to save up a little bit of extra pocket money and beer tokens and shit to be able to do this. So I literally like saved like £100 over the course of a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Over the course of a couple of months, I saved £300-400, which I put into this. That's how I did it.
Which has my SSD in there. Don't ask me why that's there. It just is. Okay, that's there just for transport. So it didn't fall around anywhere in that case when I moved it. We got some coffee. You want some coffee? With some coffee. So we got all the cables that come with it. The extra power cable, obviously. And then the power supply itself, some zip ties. And this, obviously, if I show you in here, just before we bust it out and install it, we do have all of our other cables here. Do we have a 24 pin? We do. It's like wedged
what we need for the motherboard. Spot on. The SATA cables and everything else, I think, are in here. Ideal. So, we are pairing that with...
I felt like one of those computer YouTubers.
GeForce
You know?
Gaming X, or Gaming X 3060.
Yeah, that's it, Senders, you know. And it's just one of them things, like, I also, even though I don't need to, I also have that, like, weird, like, I feel like it's like a weird obligation to almost need to justify myself, even though I really fucking don't, right? Go fuck yourself, I'll do what I want, you know? I don't have a PS5, and I didn't get one and stuff, so I'm long overdue this shit, do you know what I mean? I've been saving, and I saved up with my money that I earned, and then I built this myself. The only person that helped me was my mum and my cat, so shout outs to my mum and my cat. Everyone else can go fuck themselves, they didn't do shit. I did this.
Explain these things. Which way does this... Oh, which way does it open? So I have to slide it out. Okay.
Not only am I so proud of being able to get this and stuff, like have it, but also I did it. I install it and stuff. It's different when you did it yourself, I feel like. Do you know what I mean? I could have bought... You can buy a sick PC, but when you fucking sweated over it, it's something else.
This fancy envelope.
Like...
I haven't got the other little book. I think it's upstairs.
The other thing about it, the other cool thing about that is I'm so familiar with the inside of this. I know every standoff and every screw in this unit. Like, no one else will know that unit better than I do now. Not at all.
Cartoon book that comes with it as well.
And a lot of people won't know how to... Even the experts don't know how to deal with the old motherboards and stuff like I do. This old motherboard. Because they haven't seen it. I'm used to it because it's the only one I know.
3060. So, there it be.
Beast! I'd already taken it out and taken the little cap off, by the way. That's why there was no cap on the PCI chip.
Then we have our HDs and DisplayPort. It's a big old beast. There's my cat. Hi, cat. Yep, that's the cat. And then, so comparing
That is indeed the cat.
The 1050 Ti in size and comparing to the Radeon, it's a monster. So the issue I had is without completely taking the inner caging off, this absolutely does not fit. Okay, so let me try and demo that for you right now.
Also, trying to do this shit one-handed was awkward.
Put that over there, smash everything up because that's what we like to do. So this is my bumping the phone on the computer. This is the dusty old Pavilion as we currently stand with loose cables and removed drives. But this bay that you can see here, without removing this bay, it is an absolute nightmare because this just does not fit.
Yeah. You see what we're dealing with.
So,
The cat is indeed the cat, exactly.
I have ordered.
It's true, am I wrong?
I'll now take you to this,
You know?
which is the CIT Zoom, which I'm going to unbox in a sec. Maybe I'll mount the phone over here somewhere and I'll try and unbox it.
Spoiler alert, I did do that.
It's an RGB case. It's an ATX. It's a lot bigger. Mine is micro ATX. This is an ATX, so it'll fit all my stuff in it like snug as a rug. Easy.
Also, Streamer XL don't know shit about computers, but this dude building the computer knows shit. He's good.
Well, not even snug. It's going to have loads of room.
This dude's sober. He's building computers and shit. He knows what he's doing. Streamer XL with the sunglasses on and the Red Bull and the flowers. Hell no.
So I'll see you in the next part.
I had to smoke cigarettes while I was making this thing. That's just so to make sure I wasn't fucked up. You know. You went for it, saved it, bought it. Yeah, that isn't there their song about that? All them shoes I bought them. Is there something fucking? Isn't that Jenny on the Block or some shit? Right? Didn't Jennifer Lopez sing about that shit? Right. I'm that. I'm XL on the block. Okay. Don't be mad because I have a huge cock. I'm just XL from the block. Used to have a little, but now I have a lot. Independent woman. Oh, that's the other one I was thinking of. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
That's a good song too. Get used to this fucking shit dining table cover because you're gonna see it a lot. I know what I did. It's not shit. It's just I hate it because it's so slidey because it's like it's like a nice fabric, but it's on a glass table. So like anytime you move anything on it, you just fucking. Zoom RGB. These strips here will be RGB lighting. It's got a top I/O panel with some ports and power and reset. I don't know what you can see here because I can't see, but hopefully you can see those. The power button that's up there. Headphone port, mic port. Other little gadgets. I've already got fingerprints over it, but we do have tempered glass, which is already tight, which is good. I still have the film on this. I didn't take it off. Fuck it. I can if I want, but it don't need it. It's gonna keep it clean. So you can already see the height diff, just right. Is that bit taller? So like in comparison, you're gonna see it in a minute anyway. But instead of like being tight in there, my graphics card like finishes about here. There's still like way loads of room left. So I've just taken the tempered glass panel off the side of the CIT. Then we can have a little look at what we're dealing with. So there's no fan. I'm gonna, for now, take my old fan and put it here. 720mm should fit, hopefully. It's not. It didn't. I'm gonna have drive bays under here for like hard drive. PSU is gonna be there, I presume. Hard drives, I guess, under here. SSDs will be here and here. With lighting. Bays for them. They are. So yeah, motherboard's gonna go here. And it's cool because I can look at these now and just know where stuff goes already. Like I know what I'm doing now, which is kind of that's a nice feeling too. Yo, what up, RC? How you doing, man? Welcome on in. We're just going over the PC rebuild. We're just starting the new case. We just stripped the old one. So I'd already kind of pre-stripped it before starting, but I just showed that old piece of shit off. You'll see it again in a minute anyway. But I hope you're doing well, mate. To accommodate that. So yeah, there it is. So let's try and get like a. Damn, this dude got auto modded, huh? To the other one, they're not. What did he say? Up next to each other, but you can kind of see the height difference at least straight away. I don't even know what he said. Mini ATX. Weird. Yo, what up? Welcome to the stream. Or ATX, whatever you call it, going up to an ATX format. So it's also worth noting. I'll break it down more. There's the old piece of shit. This HP Pavilion is an i7, as I mentioned earlier. Core i7, 6700 non-K, with 16 gig of RAM. I'm not sure what DDR3 RAM that is yet. I need to check. I know there's Samsung sticks. But I don't know. DDR3 16 gig is the limit on that motherboard. There's only 2 slots. What else is worth mentioning about this unit? Not really anything other than the stuff we're adding to it. It's an old TMP motherboard. I can't really get a good angle right now. I'll show you more when we break into it. It's like TMP or IMP. Something like that. It might be I. M2 support. It's just before that. It has the M2 on the board, but yeah. It hasn't actually got a slot. So like it has M2 markings on the motherboard, but there's no slot there, and it even says M.2 and then it says SSD, but there isn't any slots to actually use. The motherboard is just a year before they started incorporating it on the HPs. All HPs that you get now, the TGs, the TP series, like the newer pre-built models, they do have M.2 on their motherboards because they're like Odense and beyond. So their motherboards have it as standard. Mine doesn't. So I still have to use SATA and hard drives for a little bit, but I'm going to replace the motherboard anyway. So it won't matter. I'm going to play with that for a bit, and then eventually I'm going to get an Aorus Z960 motherboard, and then some new RAM, new SSDs, M.2, and then we're going to go from there. So there's going to be a little project over the next couple. I too have an old tower, yeah. Sort of thing, maybe longer, maybe less. Well, you don't. Okay, so where I am here, the new PC's up there. The old shell is underneath it. just on the shelf there. And then there's also 2 other dead PCs that are XP PCs in that corner of the room that are now just basically shelves for PS2 games and controllers and a PSP and stuff. It's like my retro corner over there by my chest of drawers. And that is just 2 old PCs stood next to each other. I'm not going to show you because fucking it's messy. But, you know, like, yeah. So, this is between old consoles and PCs and shit. This is like a tech workshop. After just dropping like 400 quid on 3060, I got a good deal on it though. And this case, the CIT Zoom, this case was £38 from Amazon. You can tell I'm sober because I'm so fucking shaky. It's the only one I could really get today. So yeah, needed that to like help for the size because the 3060 won't go in this, and I didn't want to rewire the 1050 Ti and the 450 power supply just for it to come back out anyway. I'm gonna have to do that eventually because what I'm gonna do is when I get the Aorus motherboard and put it into the good PC, then I'm gonna put this TMP motherboard from here back into this PC, and the 1050 Ti and the 450 power supply, everything's there, and then like I said, this will eventually be a streaming PC. So I'm basically upgrading my PC to be a monster, and I'm going to recreate the stream PC that you guys know, and that's going to be the PC that actually does OBS. I'm going to upgrade that 1050 though, still, because that 1050 Ti still isn't, maybe it'd be good enough, but I would think I'm probably going to get like a 2060 or something to go in it, to be honest, or a 1660 Super or something, just to make sure that it still handles the bitrate and the encoding and everything. So, and then I sort of kind of want to run a 2 PC streaming setup just to be able to maintain the beast PC at its utmost while gaming. You know, get a new monitor, do 144 hertz, 144 frames, all that kind of shit, while being able to stream the speed run and it not impact the game or the frame. You know, games or the frames. For this. So that's the plan. So we're probably gonna like have a little break for some of the food and then start like ripping this. I didn't have a break for some food. Food was like not like 6 hours away. So just taken off the tempered side panel of the CIT Zoom and taken out these washers here to take this panel off. So now we can see the cabling that come with it. Focus, that's LED power. That powers the RGB on the front. Like the top IO. This. Yep. Is for these ports here. Go me, I knew that. Fuck it. That was my cat again, my cat. And then I'm doing this in my kitchen. So yeah, I should have what's that? How many pins? 5? So, oh, hang on. Okay, and then a blank one at the bottom. I may need. I'll have to check if this is compatible because I may need to jump some ports. Otherwise I might get front panel error and it might not boot. So yeah, but yeah, this was, and so the other thing I wanted to point out was the metal in this case it's like very thin. You could easily bend this if you weren't careful, as opposed to definitely flimsier than the old ones, but solid. I like on further like examination and handling it, I still stick by that statement. The old ones were definitely like more solid. They just had that more steel as opposed to feeling like aluminium kind of feel, you know. They were still flexy, but just didn't feel like you were gonna just absolutely dent and squash it like you can with the new ones. You definitely have to be a bit more careful. But this, I mean, the lighter material helps with the airflow and stuff too. Like I have nice airflow still, even with the same fans and everything. I need to get more really. But I'm still running nice temps. So far, anyway. A bit of flex in it. It's just lighter, I guess, alley that these are made of. I'm not sure. I think they are. But yeah, so then this is the ports. Obviously, we're going to remove the top one's blanked out. Never know why that is, but that's kind of a common thing. So we're going to remove port 2 and 3. Wrong. It's 1 and 2. Hopefully will be. You didn't know that yet. Future Carl telling this Carl that it was the top 2 in the end. Let's turn this around. Okay. So you get this little bag of goodies strapped on the under part of the case.
Panel side, glass panel is that side. So
at the minute it's just guts. Right.
let's see what else they're giving me.
I still didn't find out what these fucking things were. They're the only thing I didn't use, but they also didn't make sense and weren't required. They're just these little plastic clips, brackets. I don't even know what they are. I wasn't expecting to see them with the case, so I don't know. I put them back in the box because I didn't need them. It's not exploded yet, so I presume it's okay.
Find out. My strips. Good. Means I can still ground everything. Need to remember what needs to be grounded. Alright, cool. So yeah, let's move on.
Some of them little connectors were a pain because on my old case, on the old HP case, it has a proprietary front header. So that means to power like the USB and the reset switch and the LED on the front and everything, that header comes from that front panel directly to the motherboard, like, you know, from a cable, and plugs into the motherboard. And it was kind of a one connection covered the whole scene. It just like an 8-pin or 8 or a 9-pin or something like that, and just bop, right? But on the new case had things like reset switch, and it was just one connection, one pin. Then it had like front LED switch and things like that. So I had to find a diagram, like some electrician shit, and manually, singularly wire the positive and minus on these connections. It was some kind of archaic shit, but that's how we have everything fucking working, and USBs and everything on the front. Yo, what up, Two-Face? Welcome on in, dude. How you doing? Hope you're having a good Sunday, dude. We're just going over my little PC rebuild. That was the same video, right? Yeah.
The last remaining daylight before I have to put the light on. This is the inside of the pavilion.
This is the old PC?
You can see that.
Yeah, it's an IPM 17 double D.
Double D board. And then all these old SATA cables. We've got a hard drive there. Disk tray, or disk, like, drive thingy. Writer drive, whatever here, that's whatever. So I'm probably gonna have to.
Yeah, it's quite an old pavilion model.
This bay anyway. To get.
No, I didn't.
Out.
I didn't have to do that. But that's the paneling I was on about, see? This is why the 3060 doesn't fit. Because the PCIe Express 16 is here. I know it's a bit dark, sorry. But it is here to line up with these slots to line up at the back, right? So that black array there, that's the PCI Express 16. I can't even fucking see it, but I know it is there. And yeah, the graphics card just is too big. It would have come up to around here, like and so there is not enough room to get it in and twist it and everything like that. So what is what? Why is he always gone? I don't know what you mean. Yeah, so there wasn't enough room to be able to mess with getting the 3060 in. You couldn't get it in and turn it into position or anything like that. It just wouldn't have none of it. There was not enough room in this small case. It was just probably could have. The only way you maybe could have done that. I mean, you definitely could have taken that racking off and done it, or you could take the racking off, take the board out, put the GPU in, then put it all in perhaps as one like that. Maybe, but that's still a ball ache. And not really a good idea.
The reason for that.
Oh, why is the rum always gone? I don't know.
Move these cables out of the way.
Can't swing a cat around in there. Yeah, I know.
In this PCI Express 16.
That's my bugbear about British housing. I want like a Canadian property with like 37,000 square feet, you know, like not these fucking little boxes where I can't do shit. It's annoying. I'm a small dude, but I still want double-breasted doorways because I still fucking walk into shit all the time.
Which I'm just going to leave on. I'm going to use the heatsink to pick this motherboard up, which is one of the safest ways to do it. Obviously, as well, before you touch any components.
Kind of like an AIO, I guess.
Before you've got one of those wrist strap things, I don't use those, so I make sure I'm grounded. I'm wearing rubber shoes and shit.
Shout out to the boss lady. She did remind me of this, but I was already on it because but she made sure, was like, make sure you're doing the fucking grounded shits, and I was like, yeah, I got it.
Which is just, I believe, this dinky little 4-pin.
this? It's a 3. Okay.
That was fine.
Hopefully I can still use that.
So because the new case didn't come with a fan, I've just stripped my old one off the back there.
I mean, I know I can still use it because it connects to my board, so that's not.
Yeah, so this fan, I took it out, cleaned it, and then I'm just going to reapply it in the new case because the new case didn't have one. This fan was not broken, didn't need to fix it. I'm going to buy a new like RGB one, which is what they advertise the case with. They show the pictures of the RGB lights on the front and an RGB fan at the back, and I was like, oh cool, maybe it comes with that. It didn't. So that you have to buy your own fucking fan, right? So, but my fan works. It's on there. It's definitely working. You know, there's no reason that I need a new one just yet. I might get a bigger one. Like, I probably would need a bigger one. I think I've adapted a 120mm fan to go into a 140mm slot. But I nut and bolted it in to make sure that it's not going anywhere. It's not like... It's like half a bodge, but it's also pretty fucking solid, and it's just on the meshwork where they're meant to attach anyway. So, it was fine. I just nut and bolted it instead. We'll get to that, though.
Size will still fit.
I know.
Like for the screws. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I can just kind of leave that.
Just want to be a millionaire, so that's what I'm going to do. That's it. Just be a millionaire. Just
Hard drive.
be rich.
Then undo. What you have to do is undo these screws. Which you want a big fat. They look like a Torx bit.
Yeah, these
I don't know if you can see, but they have got a channel.
fucking HP and their bullshit proprietary fuck off Torx bits. What's that, like a 26 Torx or some shit? But it's also got a fucking flat notch in it, so you can just use a platty. It's like, well, we don't want anyone to get into it, but we also, in case they need to get into it, they need to be able to get into it. So it's like, alright, cool. Just makes it more of a dick ache, because all new computers basically just use Philips.
Which you can.
Like all new stuff.
Big flat head for.
Look at that old school front audio, the yellow panel. Damn. Look how archaic this motherboard is.
Side panel of that we need to find.
One thing I noticed from Steve from Gamers Nexus when he cracked open the newer pavilions, he said with these boards, he said, I don't know if I'm looking at one from yesterday or one from the 90s. And I have to agree, with how green and retro they look, they are some old shit. Like, the boards still look like that now as well, which is bad. Like, my board is from 2015, 2016. If you get a new pavilion tomorrow, the board will look similar to that.
Those cables and find the.
You know that Pavilion gaming PC, the TG or the TP series?
And the USBs wherever they are.
All those ones that people seem to do on YouTube?
They are there. You can't see these very easily, but the front USB ports on the motherboard are here. USB 1 and 2. Can't remember what that one is. Front USB something. These are all for the front parts. This is all the front header basically, and then that connects to. They connect to. You won't be able to see it, but under this hard drive, there's a. I might be able to get you in there. There you go. That panel at the back. Where are we? Here. This panel. This light strip is what connects to the front header. So that's what then connects here to have front audio, front USB, and whatnot. That's the one thing I was worried about when I was learning about this, because I was like, shit, that panel, that strip doesn't come off. So what am I going to do with this? Like, how am I going to run this?
Sorry about the scuffed phone audio.
And then I've learned that the cases have the cables for this. So, for example, this front East port I run on this. I know, I've already seen that cable, the blue-headed one. So,
Apparently I didn't realise I was covering the mic so much, but...
Cable is the same, I think it is, the one with the blanked out end that I looked at. But just, there are times where you might need to adapt, or I know with Optiplex Dell Optiplex builds, you need to adapt the connections on a new case to fit the old tech. So, but we shouldn't have to worry about that, it should be fine. So yeah, so now, okay, anyway, sorry, so now what I have to do is start removing these motherboard screws. I should remove the rest of these SATA cables really, but to be honest, they don't really need to be, only if they get in my way. But I'm going to remove these screws and lift the board out as a whole, and it's just going to get put into the new machine. So, right.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't do is I'm using my same CPU, same board, same cooler. So I took pretty much that stuff out as was and just transplanted. The only sort of new upgrade and addition currently is the 3060 and the power supply. And then next, I want to get the Aorus motherboard, which will mean I will have M.2 support for faster NVMe SSDs. I will have like better BIOS capabilities, XMP. I'll have all the different
sort of new modern tech,
First is
as well as I think the Aorus Z960 supports 12th gen as well. I think.
take out this, which is already I've already stripped it. Take out the hard drive. So now I'm going to take out this bay. I don't know how to do that yet, so I'm going to find out what needs taking out and where. I think on these pavilions I have to take off the front panel, and there should be underneath all this gubbins there should be a screw thing here that I need to release.
There wasn't. Not on my one. That's on newer pavilions, but this one's older than that.
Alright.
It wasn't needed though, so it didn't matter.
All the motherboards.
Hey, you got a plan? Nice. What's the plan? You got like a get-rich-quick scheme.
And also worth remembering, because I want to use this fan and keep it all together, what I've done is plugged it back in, but remember to take the screws out before you take the motherboard out. Otherwise, you'll go to like pull it and the fan won't release. So I'm just going to put that there. I'm going to take this off and clean it out before I put it in the new stuff, obviously.
Shit was a bit of a state as it was.
I have loosened them
But
up.
that fan and everything
So by lifting it from
had been in the originally been in the computer since its factory release. And the computer was like secondhand when I got it. I got it from a business, like from a job that I was employed at in about 2017, and it was like a high spec office computer, an i7 and everything, decent for what it was, with the Radeon graphics and whatnot. The dude that run a corporate company bought a load of them. So that's how I ended up with it anyway. And then even when he like let me go from the job in like 2017, 2018. Yeah, what up, Shift? Welcome on in, dude. When I got let go from the job, he even let me keep the PC. He was like, look, I know, like, sorry to have to let you go from the job, but I'll let you keep the PC and the printer scanner and everything. So I was like, okay. So for the last sort of couple of years, it's just been a PC that eventually I would like to get off the ground. And, this is the story all about how, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, this PC.
heatsink like this, we're able to move it out safely. But I also want to take...
Look how fucking disgusting that old shit was.
This is called the IO shield.
I definitely did take that.
This.
It's handy if you can retrieve them. If you're rebuilding, and you can retrieve your IO shield from your previous, this little rectangular area here, which is what your shit plugs into, your USBs and stuff on the back. These usually just pop in and out. If you're rebuilding, if you take this with you, it will be a lot neater. It doesn't match my new case. My new case is all black, and this has this like beige this beige IO on the back, right? But it means that all my connections are flush, and you're not just plugging into a hole. So it's kind of useful.
It's dirty as fuck.
Well, I've got flipped turned upside down. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, tell you how I came the prince of a town called Bel-Air.
Fuck with it too much here.
Pulled up to a house about 7 or 8, and I yelled to the cabbie, oh, smell you later. Okay, anyway.
We still have our nice unit to plug into.
Had to retrieve that memory, that cached memory for the song.
So yeah, alright, let me clean out these fans and everything.
I need to replace my mental hard drive with an SSD because this shit's not quick enough. Shit's running on fucking 5400 RPM in my head, and it's just fucking going trying to search the F drive.
Okay, so I've just taken this fan out, the old fan, and cleaned it. This is a Foxconn DC brushless fan, apparently. This model number, 12 volt, 3 pin. Gave it a good old clean, so now it looks pretty good. And it was a fucking state.
No, I didn't get any. So I basically just manual cleaned it and just scrubbed it out. Because I didn't have any compressed air, but I'm gonna get some. So when I next like sort of service it or whatever, I can take it apart and blast everything out that needs it. I'll do a little like check, in about 6 weeks.
RAM that I've got. So I've taken one of these.
Basic RAM. You could say that song slaps, that song rocks. No, wait. He slaps Chris Rock. Ooh. That was a good one. Fair play.
So we got Samsung.
This is the RAM. Not very good. This was just the basic 8 gig sticks, the Samsung sticks that are in the PC by default. My motherboard only accepts up to 16 anyway, so I can't even upgrade yet.
Or whatever.
But it's like DDR3. That's all I know.
2R times 8 PC3L.
I'm still learning about RAM, so I don't know what's what with RAM yet. But
no idea if this is like super good, but this is just the basic shit that was already in it. This was a corporate machine that I got from a job. I got this machine in like 2016, the Pavilion, and it was just absolutely bog standard until last year, until I added the 1050 Ti and everything. No cat, you cannot build a PC. This is not a cat zone. Okay, let me remove the cat. Yeah, so that was the cat, in case you didn't know. Okay, next update is I've taken...
So I removed the cat.
Taken this outside and give it a clean. Not done an amazing job. I can already see a bit that I've missed in here.
I just manual cleaned it, just took my time and scrubbed it out. Kind of annoying with fan blades, right? But you have to hold it and then like scrape everything out. It's like just, you know, as best I could.
Taking this cooler off or replacing it. Then I would need new thermal paste for the processor and everything, which I don't have. So I'm leaving this attached, but I did want to clean it out as well.
I was doing the most I could without having to
So yeah,
take apart stuff that I can't put back. So I didn't want to take the cooler and the CPU off. As I said, I don't have thermal paste to put it all back on. What most people would normally do in this process is they would be putting in a new motherboard and taking out their CPU and putting it in, right? So they would take off the cooler. Maybe they got a new cooler. Take off the cooler. They would then take out their CPU, clean it all off. Then they would like socket it, re-paste it, reapply their new cooler or the old one or whatever. Because I'm not doing that, I kept all of that together. So I took this board and cooler and CPU as was. But the cool thing about that and the advised strategy is that you can see the silver, let me show you with the mouse, the silver parts here. These are the parts of the heatsink. This goes all the way around. You can see it underneath as well, under the blades. This whole like silver spiky metal looking deal underneath. You grab it by that, like cup it, and lift the board by that because it's the most solid part by far, and it saves you having to have any any or just reduce contact with the board.
Okay, so I've now taken out the IO shield, just popped that out of the old unit, and this will go in the new unit, sticking out like a sore thumb, but at least it won't be a gap.
Because otherwise it's a gap, so...
Ideal.
Confirm, the cat is indeed a cat, exactly.
Now I need to move all this stuff out of the way.
I did say this was guest starring the cat.
And start putting in the motherboard.
Her name is Indy, by the way.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and seat the motherboard in.
I'll just call her the cat. She's the cat.
Try and find the standoffs, which are threaded kind of screws that go into the case, and then your motherboard screws into them standoffs. So it's like...
Because your motherboard doesn't want to be touching the case, so you put in, they're like equivalent of putting in roll plugs or wall plugs, whatever you call them, like that, and then putting screws in. It's the equivalent of that, basically, for layman's terms. So that it's like having it spaced off of the case, because otherwise if the motherboard is touching the case, then you can short, or if the IO... the trim of the IO here, because it's metal, if the trim of this is making contact with the part of the board, it could short, it could make the PC turn off randomly. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong. Because of the way that the things send current through and whatnot, again, why you need the board space. Very important.
This is the inside of the Zoom. Now what I need to do is place the motherboard in here. Remember I mentioned about these standoffs? This is what I'm talking about. You might not be able to see it very clearly. There.
They're just little like male to female screw head things, basically. You screw one in, and then you have to screw your screw into the top of it. That's what they are.
And then screw through these holes into...
Yeah, get on with it.
Touching some metal, good. Pick this up by the heatsink. This is the correct way that it's going to go in, because we're going to look at the back USB ports to find the I/O. Which
Also, I have a back I/O which is proprietary on the motherboard, which is wank, but the newer Pavilions have a front I/O which is proprietary to the motherboard, which is even more wank. Like, my old Pavilion is way better than a new Pavilion for some of the quality of life in its archaicness compared to the newer versions, funnily enough. Yo, Kira, what up, man? I did. I slept a little bit today.
with the expansion ports.
I slept for like 4 hours. It's all good. We fucking streaming, bro. Why sleep? I got 3060. What time to be? I ain't got time to be sleeping.
Excellent.
I
I would need.
got frames to test,
I need one
an
for
RTX to gander at, and see the sweat on Claire's neck reflected off pipework.
Gonna
Fuck yeah.
need one for bottom right there.
How you doing, Kira? Hope you're having a good one, man. Don't you ever sleep, sir? I was talking to you and you're in the middle of the night working.
It's these.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, I think it's this one.
So, Kira's in LA and I'm in the UK, and me and the homie are on the same fucking time schedule, I'm sure. We were talking during the middle of his night shift, and I was just jamming, and he was like on his break, and we were just hanging out kind of across the pond as you do, just through some voice messages and shit. And yeah, it was tight. And like, yeah, we're on the same hours. It's crazy.
Which is this. That's the one I'm gonna like initialize the whole thing into with. And then this one is fine.
I should just be an honorary American.
So what's that? 1, 2, 3.
By default.
4.
So we're showing my PC build.
2, 3, 4. I think I only need 4 standoffs for this.
So some of the standoffs are already in, and all you have to do basically is line up your motherboard and see which ones you're going to need that are missing. They come in the baggie with the case, so then you can just screw in the additional ones and bada bing bada boom. We can fucking get moving.
Okay, so let me just maybe do it this way because of lighting. So it's getting late. I had a break for dinner. It's now like 10 p.m. or something.
I started at like
Put the
8 p.m.
standoffs into the case and then screwed the motherboard screws into the standoffs.
Oh yeah, yeah. So was mine, Kira.
Seated in. I also included the I/O shield, so we have that on the back, or the I/O cover, or whatever it's called. And yeah, I had an issue because
Yo, thanks for the lurk, Cinders.
screws got stuck in the standoff.
Enjoy your games.
Screw the standoffs in. You have to then like tighten them with pliers or something to get them locked in. Otherwise, the screw gets stuck. So
Very important.
I have to take this out once because that happened. But yeah, there's still a bit of play on the board there, but that shouldn't be too bad.
That play isn't that bad.
It's like,
More play on the standoff actually, but it's fine.
so yeah, now I just got to hope that I haven't currently blown anything in it. Then to put in the power supply.
Spoilers, I didn't because we're using it.
Start putting the drives in, earth them with their SATA straps and their earth cables.
Definitely still earth them. Don't shortcut anything.
Screwed in and just earth to the case.
Always do that.
And then I'm going to put in the 3060 and everything. So yeah, here we go.
I bet, yeah, exactly. I haven't worked in a kitchen, so I can't like confirm that, but I don't doubt you.
So here we are now. Motherboard is in and seated into the new case. And I've now installed the old 120mm fan because I don't have a new one yet. So I've installed this and I just need to plug it in.
This is my little tech bodge.
Screws that it came with.
Shout outs to my dad.
It originally went into this area is for, I believe, a 140mm, which would be plugged, screwed in here and here. What I've done is screwed into the vents using bigger screws out of my mum's toolbox, like nuts and bolts, and then bolted it in, because it was the only other way I could think to do it. So yeah, that's what I've done. That's fucking solid on there now. It only had 3 in it anyway. Top bottom, 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom. So now that ain't fucking going anywhere. That's solid. Shades of my dad, that one. That's what he would have done.
Definitely what my dad would do.
He taught me if you can't get the screws to fix it or it doesn't fit in,
Just adapt it, nut and bolt it then.
I have them available. So that's what I've done. So now we can actually start moving on to the power supply.
Oh no, we can't. Oh no, I did actually, okay. So these videos now, they started off like every 20-minute recording or something, and now they're like, I work for like an hour and then record like 2 minutes and just be like, right, I've done this, now we're doing this.
With all the adequate cabling that it needs. And then we can drop it into here, like so. I'll rest it on there a little bit so I can try and sink her through. So what I'm going to do is fish the cables through, then sink her in. That would be a better idea. But yeah, so that's where we are so far. We're getting there slowly. Right, so power supply gets sunk in this side like this. Which
then I'll be able to screw in and plug in the back.
Sorry about the lighting, but it was getting dark, so
Slowly fish these cables through.
I only had kitchen light.
And, plug in everything. And
Probably should have taken it to my garage, but
then on to the next step.
wait, what? Did that not work? Oh.
I didn't know I could use torch on video. That's good. Okay, so power supply is in. Screwed in there, and there. And yeah, this is our IO shield. So as I said in the last video, I now just need to start running the cables, connect everything up. And yeah, I'll show you a couple of them connect ups, like where the 24 pin goes and things like that. So yeah. Okay, now we have some more lighting. So I've routed the cables through the appropriate gaps. Just fished
Car
one through
hole.
here, really, for now. For us
Garage
to-
man cave? Yeah, definitely.
Just need to find.
Well, in a way, mine is more storage, to be honest. But like, it could be, like. But at the same time, I'm loud as fuck, and my neighbours would hate it because then you'd only have the garage door stopping my voice.
Ones for the appropriate things. So first is the fattest one here, which is this 24 pin. This powers the whole motherboard. This goes there. So there's only one way these can go. So just get bobbed in. We'll do that in a sec. I'm gonna make a coffee, and then I need to plug in, move out of the way of these shit SATA cables. Then the CPU plugs in here, which let's find that one. So like I say, these power supplies are great because most of the shit you need in this day and age is labelled. So that's PCIe. This would be for the graphics card. 6 and an 8.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do that like a den. That would definitely, yeah, Cinders. That's what I'd love to do.
It should be this one then, 4 pin.
Do you know what I always wanted, and I still want, is one of those wall units where it's like every squared cubbyhole is like a console or like an arcade stick or a figure, and it's like usually the big white fucking unit, and it's just shelves, and they all have like RGB fucking mood lighting in them. Do you know what I mean? That thing, that's what I want, with like some 100-inch fuck off 2000 hertz TV that's like obnoxious, some Kanye West television set. 4K, like fucking, you know what I mean, right? That type of shit. That's what I want. Even like a custom, even like a custom made type one would be pretty cool.
It's one-handed, so I can't really show you very well, but it might be. No, I can't do it. But you have to split these apart.
These are like chock block things.
Gap in the middle, if this focuses. See the gap down the middle there. Split these apart into 2 4-beat.
The other thing is, if I could do that and have like a soundproof gaming room, I'd be gaming and streaming for like 28 hours a day.
And then I need to plug that.
Even if nobody's here, because I could, and I could be super loud and do whatever I want.
Got half spare. So yeah, plug them in.
Do it.
Obviously, I've already labelled these.
You could easily jimmy up something like that doesn't have to cost a bomb. You could get some RGB strips with a controller or whatever, and you could make something quite nice with that, but even without breaking the bank. You've already got the glass thing with your figures in, right? So you could totally do some jazzy bits with that, just with a couple of LED strips.
This is going to be my hard drive SATA cable, which I'll plug into.
And all it is sometimes is about where the light is, whether it's up, like up coming down or down going up. It changes the mood. That's why streamers do it.
I believe, which I'm not going to need anymore because I don't have a disk drive anymore. So
Yeah, but Shannon's been moving out for like 5 years. I'll believe it when I see it.
going out the back of this, we have
Right.
these cables, which are the blue one for the USBs and everything. These are for our front header. So like our reset switch.
So you see all these individual ones? Those little individual, tiny little connections. On the old case, they were like an 8-in-1. So it was just whereas these were all individual fiddly little bastards that I had to plug in one by one and look up a diagram as to what positive and minus they had to go on and where.
Power LED.
Industry standard apparently, but I wasn't aware. So this is how small they are. Tiny little fuckers. And I had to get these in and around some SATA cables and a fucking 3060, I think.
HD LED.
No, I did them before the 3060, I think. I can't remember now. It's like a blur.
3.0. So this blue cable connects into, where is it? There, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Front USB. Either that one, or I think it's going to be this one. To connect up the USB 3 on the front, or on the top in this case, which I believe it has.
Sorry, I think I'm...
Right, okay. That's the next.
I was holding the phone to one side while I was looking.
A bit of a dick ache, but I think I finally got the 3060 in. That is locked in. So what you do with these, if you don't know, is you
Spoiler alert, it was not in.
release that clasp, that black clasp there.
Oh, okay, yeah. Learning German, yeah.
Then pull the card out, push it down, put card in, and it should and click.
Over there in Germany, damn. It's a shame she doesn't play Tekken.
Which it has, and it's locked in.
Tekken's fucking good in Germany, you know.
So then, when we connect up...
So the issue I had is this 3060 is a bit too much of a beast for my motherboard. So it was a bit cramped. As you can see here, if I could get a good unblurry pause there, look how big this fucking thing is compared to my motherboard. It is a absolute monster.
Now, I'm not gonna
Look at that fucking thing, it takes up the whole computer.
basically just going to start plugging shit in. So, as I showed you earlier...
Oh shit, I just read the part about her seeing someone from Germany. I wasn't aware of that bit. Oh, I see. Thought she had a fella over here.
After the graphics card, because the graphics card is like the most annoying part to sort out.
Guess I was wrong.
I need to split this still. So yeah, I need to split this into a 4 and then plug it in here. Alright, I'm going to start. I keep forgetting I have to split that damn cable. Okay, let me do that. Alright, here we are. We are now near enough complete. So this is my old IPM17DD motherboard inside a CIT Zoom case that I've transplanted into with the 3060. All nice, hopefully seated, fingers crossed. I'll have to check that.
It wasn't.
The only things
Lol.
to plug in are a couple of little SATA cables for each hard drive and SSD.
Wouldn't be a first build if you didn't fuck something up.
And the power
But I
cord.
repaired it, it's fine.
And that's it. This is not the best cable management job I could have done.
I don't care.
It needs
Fuck cable management. Who's coming in there looking at my computer? I'm barely looking at it. Fuck you.
I might be able to reroute and tidy that somehow, but this is the bays, so I can't have it in the way here.
If you got an issue with my cable management, you come around here and you fucking manage it. Alright?
So I might just leave that and try and tuck it.
I sorted it better than that. Don't worry about it, chat, okay? Hold fire.
I can't have too
Don't
much
shout at me.
because
We sort it all out in a minute. It's not finished.
of cable management this side. But for the most part, this is to go. This is for that hard drive that I haven't plugged in yet, or the SSD, which then will be tighter like that. And this one also is for the hard drive, which is going to go in the bottom bay down there.
It didn't go down there. Spoilers.
Power supply in. It's
Had to
upside
adapt
down
it.
intentionally because the way that the fan is. So then this blows out and up into here, and yeah, you don't really want them facing. Usually, the old law was you didn't want them facing down because the underneath used to be solid metal. That's why you didn't have them facing down. So you had it even in that machine. So I think my power supply into 1050 Ti came out of this thing with barely any ventilation. But yeah, that's why I've done it this way.
Never overheated either, by the way.
This one,
I think ventilation, honestly, is a bit of a scam.
but it has
People, do you know what? I'm going to talk about that because I honestly think that's true. To some extent, depending on what parts you're running, a lot of the whole you need this cooling and you need this airflow, honestly, a lot of it is bollocks. A lot of it is kind of bollocks because you technically could just open your side panel a little bit and you are good for the most part. And if you're not good, you are gonna need to. That means something needs replacing and something is not working properly. But if you've got a decent fan and the GPU's got its own cooler, the CPU has its own cooler. The GPU usually has its own double fan or triple fan if you've got a big one.
I was running in a corporate fucking box with the 1050 Ti and stuff, doing speed runs and streaming and everything, like running that thing ragged, and it never overheated. It never even reached terrible temperatures. I mean, because I run the frame data all the time on my games and shit, and nobody's ever said, "Oh, wow, that's a bit high." Like, it's nothing's that I've had bottleneck issues or other issues, CPU issues from CPU intensive games and things. But I've never had a heating issue or airflow issues. I honestly think it's just a scam to sell cases in this day and age.
I probably could have had it from the
Maybe 10, 20 years ago, yeah, it was important, and it definitely was. Like 10 years ago, then maybe, especially in these corporate boxes, the old corporate boxes for sure. But now, I don't know, it just, again, depending on what you put in it, I mean, maybe a 3060 in that corporate box, that would have definitely been too hot and everything. So airflow would have been a problem there. But I think as long as it's within reason and you're not taking the piss, then the airflow shouldn't be that bad. Before we get to the telemetry, my 3060 runs 20 degrees, while gaming, runs 20 degrees cooler than what Google advertises it's meant to. So I have absolutely no issues with airflow or with heat currently. So far. Anyway, touch wood.
Dust and shit into the unit. That's not a good way to do it.
You never know. Obviously, things can change. Whatever. I know, whatever. But just saying.
So, yeah, now I just need to put this case back on.
Like, I know airflow's important, but it just feels not super that important that they make it out to be. That's what I'm trying to say. Not trying to write it off. It is important, but.
So we're not going to have the fancy RGB shit, but the PC should hopefully work. Touch wood.
We did have the fancy RGB shit because I found the Molex connection off of my power supply to plug it into. But it was kind of like a 4-pin Molex, like an old school jobby.
So I'll be back with another progress report. Hopefully, it's working. Well, we'll do like a test, a plug-in. All right. So this is with everything plugged in. Obviously, GPU and everything's plugged in. Now the hard drives are meant to go in here. This is the hard drive. It was meant to go in a slot that's like a bay under here. But it would have slid in, and then basically I'll show you this side. The hard drive is meant to go here.
Sorry about the noise.
But there was
Plastic wrapping shits.
My hard drive is smaller than this bay. I think this is a 5-inch bay. It's supposed to be a 3-inch, 3.5. And then the drive would go in like this, and would have to plug in here, so the cables would stick out the side quite a lot. Like this.
You know how you plug the stuff in the back of your computer? It would have been like that at the side because of how the hard drive bays are. And they say 3.5 or 3.5 inch. And like I said in the video, I think mine is a 3.5 inch because it's not that big. But then bays are like fucking. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, So it would have been rattling around and stuff. And if I'd have moved it, it would have would have potentially slid around. I didn't want that, so I had to adapt it. But I made it work. Another little Excel style adapting bodge, but it's not that bad.
Why is this so zoomed in? Weird on video mode. On camera mode, it's fucking right in your eye, in your eyes. But on video mode, it's fucking already down there. Right. So yeah, this is the back, the side that you wouldn't see because it would have
I can already hear the annoyance in my voice. I was pissed.
the metal cover on. That's where all the cables and everything hide. So yeah, because of that bay issue. What I've had to do is mount my main hard drive in here. In the old PC,
It's not the best solution, but it's temporary for now until I can get a sleeve to go into the bay. Yo, what up, Plank? How you doing, man? Welcome on in. I am showing the rebuild of my PC that I rebuilt and into a new case. So I've done a case swap from a corporate little shitbox to now a nice RGB case that I also installed a RTX 3060.
Where is it? There. Screwed it in to hold it. So
which I did all by myself, as you're saying. This is like you're catching in the tail end, but we're wired into the new case currently.
I'll see it at the side. So it's above the hard drive. Hard drive here, SSD here. This is my main drive. And I'll get another SSD to go up the top above it until I can get a new motherboard.
There's the 3060. Beast.
And I can put an NVMe M.2
Yeah.
SSD on there.
Hey, I got a good deal, man. All right.
So,
Novatech. Novatech.co.uk. Fucking, it's where I bought my 1050 Ti. Where in times of need, at the end of a pandemic, they were there for me, and in times when I had a flush wallet, they were there for me with a nice, not discount, but a nice deal. £416 next day delivered, 409 without the delivery. So good. The only thing that probably won't work is and also the hardest thing I had to do was learn how to wire the front panel, which I don't even think I can show you this. As I said earlier, the old front panel was like a one connection fits all, and these are all individual plus and minuses that I had to line up. So how can I do this? Where is it? Yeah, man, but I'm good. I'm not going to get a 40 series for a minute. So this, I want this to still be decent for a couple of years. And I didn't get a PS5 like all you ninjas did. You and Plank and RC and Sin, you all got PS5s. I haven't had shit. I've been running on my fucking Pavilion Pro for the last fucking year. So suck my dick, all right? I'm XL from the block. We already did this. I earned this shit, all right? How you doing, Kiko? Welcome on in, mate. Hope you're having a good one. For the reset switch and everything. Where's my hand? Exactly, Plank knows. Exactly, an ATP RTSD 4, 5, 7, and 12. Yeah, all these little guys here are like... Now I need to update... from this lot, which is the front. When I can upgrade my motherboard, then I can download some more RAM. But I'm limited on my RAM at the minute. I can't download any more RAM because my motherboard is limited to 16 gig DDR3. And then I'm going to take this upstairs and I'm going to try and plug it in and see how we do. And hope that it turns on and potentially works. Sorry about the scuffed audio there. Alright, moment of truth. It has been many, many hours. And I have had to take this 3060 out and reseat it because it basically wasn't connecting in flush into the port. And this side would raise out a little bit, and I was like, I could still, it was play on it that it shouldn't have. It's like trying to put my dick in a Japanese girl. It's just very tight and very difficult, but eventually it gets in there. So, spoiler alert, I've plugged this in just down the drivers. I know it. Corona 2, the sequel. So we're going to press this button. No, I did not. And no, it does not. Watch all these lights. You are wrong. RGB lights. But no, I did not get a new CPU. It's still an i7. And it still runs pretty fine, to be fair, currently. I am upgrading CPU next, but I need to do this shit in chunks because of money. So all I've done so far is the 3060 and the power supply, and I've swapped that over. So I'm keeping my old motherboard and old CPU. And then what I'm going to do is, I already have all this shit, like, bookmarked. I want an Aorus Z960 motherboard. And then I'm going to get probably an i9, like 1100K or something, or something decent on that level for a new processor. I want to get a couple of, probably a Samsung 960 or 970 Evo M.2 NVMe to go with it as well. And then some Corsair, probably 64 gig RAM. That's what I'm looking to upgrade. I paid $409 for the 3060 and $5 or $6 for next day delivery. So $416 delivered next day. And it's a MSI GeForce RTX 3060 Gaming X. Excuse the state of my fucking room, but we are on. I don't know if, yeah. There we go. It's kind of the bit you needed to see, really. And then here, this is what the front looks like. Just idling. It looks lovely. I've never had anything RGB on my computer before. Remember, I had this HP Pavilion box. You're going to see it in a minute again. Yeah, I can't even hear you there, buddy. And then what was this? What? I think it's the same video, right? Yeah. I just did a switch on. And then this was just idling. So nice. And the case, by the way, was 38. Next day. Not even that expensive. So, there we have it. Let me find this picture. So yeah, we started at the bottom with this HP Pavilion 550 27NA which is now upgraded and updated to this motherfucker up here, running 3060. So to answer Plank's earlier statements, in terms of bottlenecking and whatnot, that won't happen to me because I'm not going to be pushing the frames too much, right? I can limit it and run at 60 because I only have 60 Hz monitors. However, I can still run them at 100 plus frames and get 6 seconds extra latency reduction. So instead of 16 milliseconds frame time that most games would run at 60 FPS, I can get like 7 milliseconds. I can also run Tekken like that as well at like 120 FPS unlocked with like 5 milliseconds as opposed to 16, so I get better or lack of input delay. So yeah, and then what I did was I tested the game while recording with Chrome. Recording is more intensive than streaming on my system because I have higher recording settings. I was recording at these settings while Chrome was open, because you know how much Chrome is a dick, and I was hitting 110 with RTX off, and then I still hit 72 averaging at only 32% usage, well within good temps. Still only using like fucking 8 gig of RAM and just over 4.5 gig of VRAM because I'm on speedrun. Well, not speedrun settings, but on the RTX settings. I don't know why it was just using fuck all VRAM. This was on high, and even when I got into the game and was playing, it was just like 60 FPS in the RPD or with RTX on. That should still maintain while I'm streaming, but who knows? So. And then here, I know the picture looks shit, but don't worry about it. This was Final Fantasy VII Remake, looking at that fucking tornado with a constant 120 FPS. On Chapter 17, you know what Aerith says, you ready? You leave 10 about having a green motherboard. Dude, I was saying about that. Steve from Gamers Nexus, when he was showing a modern pavilion rip down, they still have them green motherboards, and he was like, I don't know if this is from 1990 or from today. Okay, and do you know the best thing is, right? Here, ladies and gentlemen, is Elden Ring on a 3060 at 40 FPS. I honestly got better performance out of my 1050 Ti on Elden Ring. Fuck Elden Ring. It's a great game. I'm glad I completed it. Probably won't play it ever again until they sort it out. It can suck my ass. It's trash. Fucking, I still can't optimize, even with my knowledge on NVIDIA control panel and my way of work. I got a 1050 Ti running at fucking 46 to 60 FPS in dungeons. I can't even tune this 3060 to work on this shit. It's trash. But Resident Evil and good games run good. Like, as I'm about to show you after I go and empty my bladder and whatnots. And also, in case you didn't see it, that's my cat. That is indeed the cat. That's indeed, she is in my Novatech box. She's also my Palico companion and my helper. Shout outs to cats. Shout outs to Plank's cat. I like Plank's cat. Yeah, it's an adorable cat. I'm trying to get my cat to be like his cat and sit on the chair outside on the lead and not be a dick. But my cat's like Cartman's cat in comparison. So, it's not working. Oh, jams. Alright. I'm going to go for a urine break, and then when I come back, we're going to test some frames in some games, and we're going to just bop on a load of games, crank up the settings, see what we get. You know the drill.